Welcome to the Lancaster City Council meeting. City Clerk, do you want to take a roll?
City Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Member Molly.
Present.
Mann.
I'm present.
Underwood Jacobs. Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Christ.
Present.
Mayor Chairman Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Let's excuse.
I'll move to excuse Councilwoman Angela Underwood Jacobs.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes unanimously. So where is she?
She's in Washington, D.C.
Is she hobnobbing with Trump again?
She's representing the city of Lancaster.
Good. Where's the deputy mayor?
He is representing the city of Lancaster at the Republican Party tonight.
Okay, thank you. Who's doing the invocation?
Luke.
Thank you, Mayor. Please bow your heads. Dear Lord, we thank you tonight that you have given us another day to breathe your air and to partake of your food and to drink your water. We pray that as we gather here tonight, Lord, that we would do so in full acknowledgement of who you are and what you've done for us, what you continue to give us, Lord. I pray for wisdom for our council to lead our city with righteousness and integrity. And I pray, Lord, for a spirit of cooperation and peace in this room, even where there may be disagreement or strife. I pray, Lord, that you would help everyone to have a safe trip when they go home tonight, that they would not have any accidents or anything that would otherwise injure them or harm them. And I pray, Lord God, that when we all finish this day and we lay our heads down at the end of it, that we would acknowledge that your mercy is upon us and that we have the freedom that we do because you have smiled on us, Lord God. We thank you for that, and we pray that your blessing is over us here tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Raj, what are you?
Right hand over your heart, please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have two presentations tonight. Jason, you want to...
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. I'm pleased to advise you that the City of Lancaster has been awarded the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting by the Government Finance Officers Association for the preparation of our fiscal year 17-18 CAFR, which is our comprehensive annual financial report. This is one of the highest awards that is bestowed upon cities for their work in accounting and financial reporting. So I'm very pleased to announce that we have won it for the prior fiscal year. While it's a citywide achievement, many departments help out with it. It is one of the key documents produced by the Finance Department. And so with your blessing, I would like to recognize a few of the key staff members that go into the preparation of the report. May I introduce them?
Well, blessing's a little strong, but...
with your okay.
Yes, thank you.
We have Tammy Holliday. We have Stacy Piercy, both of whom represent the accounting division. We also have Christine Malta, who oversees our procurement and revenue collections for the city. And then we have Michael Allen, who I believe is working hard at his desk. He works in our Treasury division. So while they're the key managers, there are many staff beneath them that support this function and ensure that we receive this report or this award year after year. So thank you very much.
More importantly, didn't that mean we got a better rating?
Yes, it is one of the criterias that does go into bond rating. We did receive our recent bond rating for the upcoming transit bonds or citywide improvement of the transit funds, and we received a AA- from S&P, and those will be going for sale in about 2 weeks.
That's huge. I mean,
Yeah.
that translates into real money, right?
Absolutely.
Good, thank you.
So thank you.
Next, I'm going to introduce Andrew Noga, who's our Emergency Operations Manager. Last couple meetings ago, you requested an update on our emergency preparedness. Andrew leads that effort, and he'll be giving you an update on how we operate and what we're doing.
Great, thank you.
Mayor Parris, Vice Mayor Christ, council members, happy birthday, Mr. Mann. Thanks for having me.
He even brought his own cupcakes.
I know, I saw that.
Did you see that? I mean, that was a little sad, I got to admit, but still, he's got cupcakes.
Mayor, that was so polite of Marvin to bring these. I am so honored, and I am blessed to have friendship such as Marvin and he brought all the cake tonight. So
See those sprinkles?
yeah.
That's for how old you are.
So I was born in '56, so I'm a couple of months younger than Marvin. So just FYI.
Don't we have a mandatory retirement age here? Careful. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me tonight. We'll start off. There's no harm in hoping for the best as long as you can prepare for the worst, said by Stephen King.
I love this city.
There you go. From earthquakes to active shooters, we diligently work to have our employees and citizens ready for the worst. The City of Lancaster follows the NIMS National Incident Management System, which is a comprehensive national approach to incident management that is applicable to all jurisdictional levels and functional disciplines.
Can we skip over the active shooter? We're still a little sensitive right now.
Sure can. This includes how our EOC, our Emergency Operations Center, is set up to the trainings our employees receive. NIMS was created by FEMA after the U.S. suffered from a lack of solid coordination and authority, as well as different entities utilizing different lingo with communication, which led to confusion. NIMS attempts to solve these problems. Last year, we rolled out Ready Lancaster campaign with Councilmember Molly, which was a huge success and reached out to thousands in our community on how to be prepared. We passed on the message to the citizens of the Antelope Valley on what to do in case of a disaster and how to prepare their families. With the help of our communications department, we put together a web page dedicated to Ready Lancaster with answers to questions the community might have regarding disaster preparedness. We educated the community on the City of Lancaster's mass communication system, Nixle, and pushed for them to register with it. Just another way of getting the community prepared. With the recent earthquakes, it just reminds us that we need to stay prepared and ready at all times. Here at the city, we accomplish this by training our employees in the many facets of emergency preparedness. In January and February of this year, Lee DeRico, LA County Sheriff, and myself ran the City of Lancaster employees through training and worked out flaws that we might have had at City Hall and addressed them. In September of this year, we will be having our emergency operations team running through trainings in City Hall's Emergency Operations Center. These trainings will be preparing our team for the All Valley exercise that will be happening on October 17th of this year. Keeping our emergency team trained and prepared is essential for the success during an emergency. Another big part of emergency preparedness in the Antelope Valley is the Antelope Valley Disaster Council. This council is made up of all the major players throughout the AV. We meet every quarter at a round table and discuss emergency preparedness situations. How can we improve, and how we, as a valley, will help each other. This council includes Edwards Air Force Base, Sheriff, Fire, AV Hospital, Palmdale Medical Center, school districts, and many more. We also have the Children in Disasters Task Force. This task force is the first one of its kind. We formed this group to come up with a solution for our children whose parents commute. We need to make sure there's a safe place for these kids to go until their parents can get home. Our clergy groups have stepped up, and together we are working on solving this problem with the churches acting as safe homes. This is still a work in progress, but will add to the AV being prepared for the worst. City of Lancaster employees have been working diligently on a debris management plan, which should be ready for council review within the next few weeks. With this plan in place, our debris problem following a disaster will be much easier to deal with. We will have contractors in place to come in and remove the debris and help with cleanup of our city. This will allow city functions to return to normal at a much faster pace. Coming to council for approval in October will be our hazard mitigation update. This document is required for update every 5 years from the state and helps us realize what we as a city need to work on to mitigate hazardous conditions. Lancaster is also part of what is known as Area B. LA County is broken into 8 areas, each area being ran by a disaster management area coordinator. Our area is made up of 8 cities: Lancaster, Palmdale, Santa Clarita, Malibu, Hidden Hills, Agoura Hills, Calabasas, and Westlake Village. We meet monthly to discuss emergencies and what we can do better during emergencies. Our DMAC is our voice to the LA County EOC during emergency. We also have a group of local water agencies that meet quarterly to discuss on how to improve our systems and what we'll need during a large earthquake. The agencies working together to accomplish this for the Antelope Valley is a great thing. In closing, we all have the citizens of the Antelope Valley in mind. We work towards being prepared and teaching folks how to prepare themselves. This is a community effort, so when that day comes, because it's not if, it's when, we can be there for our community, and our community can be there for each other. As Howard Ruff once said, it wasn't raining when Noah built the ark.
Good. Thank you.
Questions?
I don't know if I like the Stephen King one better. Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
But Jason, didn't we just purchase some equipment for the CERT and have them redistributed?
Correct. We work, as Vice Mayor Chris mentioned, we work with a number of different agencies, one of which was housed a number of emergency supplies that we acquired as a city just to beef up our operational capabilities. So when those things come about, we're regularly implementing and budgeting capital improvements so that we can add that capability to our repertoire, to our abilities.
Tom, I know you want to say something.
No, I had just heard CERT and I was getting ready for a question. So nope.
Okay.
I'm good. Hey, how are we on the Tamiflu?
Still working on the Tamiflu.
You're kidding.
No, we are having difficulties identifying that quantity of Tamiflu without prescription.
Okay. Keep me advised, would you? Thank you. Okay. Motion to pass the minutes.
So moved.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes unanimously. Consent calendar, anything to be removed?
No cards. Motion to approve the consent calendar is currently comprised.
Second that? Oh, I guess we can just do it voice. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes unanimously. Fair enough. Okay, public hearing, item 1.
No speaker cards.
Let's open the public hearing.
Can we open the public hearing?
Let's close the public hearing. Waive the staff report. Is there a motion?
Motion to adopt Resolution 19-48. Resolution 19-39.
Second that. Let's vote.
That was a motion to adopt Resolution 19-48, amending Resolution 19-39?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Is Mr. Reeves sick today? Or? Passes unanimously. All right. New business item 1. Any speaker cards?
No speaker cards?
Mayor, this might be a presentation you guys want to listen to.
Okay. Let's do it.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice
Good evening.
Mayor, Council, staff. Thank you for the opportunity. We are here to share with you an exciting new opportunity for the city of Lancaster. In the tradition of being the city the first, the staff is excited and present the opportunity to become the first city in California to partner with Fastenal. Fastenal, by bringing their on-site solution to the city of Lancaster, on-site solution, so on-site business. So departments throughout the city work together to review alternative methods purchasing in an effort to reduce total cost of ownership, standardize items most frequently used from staff, and reduce CalCard usage. The city does not have an inventory management system which could be used to purchase materials and supplies in bulk. So Fastenal offers an on-site solution that helps address these issues to reduce total cost of ownership by saving staff time in sourcing purchasing instead of using CalCards, managing inventory without adding additional staff. So Fastenal on-site store would be located at the city maintenance yard. It's the AT room. There's a breezeway, and that's the orientation of that store that we're proposing. It'll be staffed with 2 full-time Fastenal staff members. Fastenal will purchase the items most commonly used by the city. They will manage inventory of these items, and they will maintain ownership of these items within that store before they're purchased by city staff. The benefits of the on-site store include traceability and accountability of inventory and immediate availability of supplies to staff whenever they on demand. So the inventory will be there when they need it, when we need it. Everything we do, we attempt to look through the lens of STIR, strategic technology, innovation, and resilience. Let me share with you how this project relates to STIR. Technology, by utilizing Fastenal systems, the city will have the ability to track inventory and supply usage, which will allow staff to prepare budgets and actual usage data, resulting in more precise budget estimates. Innovation. The city of Lancaster will be the first city in California to incorporate Fastenal on-site services into their daily operations, which will increase efficiency throughout the entire city. And resiliency. The city's greatest resource is its staff. By utilizing Fastenal resources to focus on sourcing, procurements, warehousing, and inventory, city staff will be able to focus on what truly matters, delivery of services to the citizens. Now I'd like to share with you a video.
As a maintenance and construction and planning area, that's always our focus, is whatever we got to do to support that mission of the district, we try and do that.
When we finally approached the Sarasota County School Board, some of their biggest issues with their incumbent supplier at the time was sourcing, logistics and deliveries. They were just drop shipping product, and then as soon as their FedEx driver or UPS driver would drop the product, it was literally on them to handle receiving it, allocating it to where it needs to go. Everything was done on pen and paper. So it was a huge challenge for them to actually show that visibility and show where the product was going. Therefore, when we came in and we told them, hey, we're going to take this product and we're going to handle it. A blue shirt's going to order it. A blue shirt's going to deliver it. That was a huge value proposition for them, just because now they're hands off.
We have a main Fastenal warehouse at one of our central facilities that they run. They operate. It's their inventory in there. They've got 2 Fastenal employees who are integrated kind of in our system across the district. They do all the deliveries. They work with our people. We've got across our district vending machines at all of our locations, strategically placed. In terms of the overall operation, electronically, we are linked with our Archibus system and their inventory management system, so everything we do with Fastenal is paperless. The other thing that's very, very important for our billing and invoicing and all that stuff, we get one invoice from Fastenal that comes in and we pay it on a credit card, so very effective, very efficient. And they distribute all these parts and supplies across the district for us, so we're not running, they're doing all of the running. So to me, it's a very effective, very efficient process and organization across the district, and again, hands-off kind of operation for us in terms of parts and supplies, and we let them run that and integrate with us. When you take a look at one of their vending machines, not only is it controlling our inventory, but our technicians go up and they swipe into that vending machine with their security card that they have here in the district, so that the machine knows who it is, and then they type a work order in, says this part's going to this particular work order, and the part then gets vended out of the machine, and then we automatically, through the Fastenal system, we suck all of that information electronically out of their system and load it into our work order system. So we are charging a part all the way from the machine right down to the work order, all seamlessly without any paperwork. What's important for us is making sure that we are servicing schools with effective and efficient services and making sure our customers and our students are taken care of. But another big important piece of that is taxpayer money, right? Our taxpayers in Sarasota County are always saying, make sure you run the school district like a business. And so at the end of the day, when they look at facility services operations, we can say we are running it like a business. We focus on what we do best, we minimize cost, and we bring in partners like Fastenal who do what they do best at a very efficient operational level and bring in parts and supplies, distribute it to where we need across the district, and allow us to make repairs at a low cost. And so when I look at taxpayer NEI, I can say, hey, we do a very good job not only for your student in the school, but for your dollar, because we are the best in the business, and Fastenal helps us be there.
So that was a case study by the County of Sarasota School District. So that's an example of what we would like to bring here. You have any questions for me before I call up Christine Malta, which will talk about the budgeting?
Have we talked to any other jurisdictions?
We have, well, jurisdictions? We went to the city of Pasadena? Oh, partnerships?
Is that how they get the
not
roses?
as of yet. No, we have not talked to other partnerships. What's that?
That's good. We have contemplated phase 2, which is the partnerships with other entities, whether it be AVTA, school districts that can use this facility as well. And in the negotiations, we've identified that that's going to be phase 2 with Fastenal to potentially bring other partners in to join in this effort.
If we looked at somewhere around AVTA, we could join with AVTA. We could, and then the school districts are right there too, so we could bring them in. And so
we're focusing first on the city, all of city asset.
Well, the city of Palmdale is maybe 30 feet away, so
right.
It would be a good place to start.
I assume this would be revenue generating.
Correct. That's the idea.
I love those ideas.
So I'll bring up Christine Malta, which will talk about that a little more.
Great. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. We're going to talk about a couple ways that Fastenal is going to help us save money. We're going to talk about first total cost of ownership. So when we go to purchase any type of unit, be it a hammer, a ladder, a tire, right, there's more than just the unit cost of that piece. It's the people that go into, putting the purchase order together, paying the invoices, all the different things that happen. So right now, as an example, we utilize CalCards out in the field a lot for items that come up throughout the day as people are doing their work that they might need to run to Lowe's or Home Depot and pick up a hammer or pick up a part here or there. Right now, it's taking about, per transaction, about 1 hour of man time to do that. You're looking at 30 to 40 minutes for the person to go pick it up, and then there's coming back to the office, filling out the paperwork, all the approvals, and processing the CalCards at the end of the month. So right now, on average, we're looking at 504 transactions a month. About half of that's done by our field operations crew, so about 252 transactions a month. Bringing on the on-site store puts the items here on site so that in the morning when staff is getting ready to go out to their job, they can go into the store, either utilize the vending machine or the Fastenal staff that's there, get the parts that they need, and head out to the job. They don't have to leave the job the rest of the day, so they're out there working.
Do we have an average unit cost for each transaction?
You know, we don't have an average unit cost because we can't track the data right now to a unit price, but that's one of the benefits of utilizing Fastenal as a partner. They have the technology to tell us every single thing that we're purchasing so that we can look at what those unit costs actually are. And the best part about it, I'm going to skip ahead to the next slide, is the best part about it is not only are we saving on the total cost of ownership because we're going to reduce the amount of people, city staff that it takes to purchase one item, because we're going to replace that manpower with Fastenal. They're going to do the sourcing, they're going to provide the item to us, and if we're out, you know, in the middle of a street and a hammer breaks, we're going to make a phone call and they're going to get in their truck and drive out and drop the hammer off to us. Okay, so when we talk about unit costs, a good the benefit of this is we're utilizing a national contract. So we are no longer just utilizing our purchasing power at the City of Lancaster, but we're utilizing the purchasing power of the cities and governments throughout the country and what they're buying, right? So with the cooperative agreement that we're proposing that we utilize, we've got costs that are reduced because it's not the City of Lancaster buying 100 of them a year, it's the nation buying 10,000 of them a year. And that's where we see a reduction in unit costs. So once we have the data from Fastenal, we'll be able to look at where we're spending money, negotiate pricing. We have options of incentives built into this contract based on our monthly and annual spend. And when we bring in partnerships and increase that volume, that'll increase our bottom line. Do you have any other questions?
My Timex is ringing. Sorry. Someday I'll learn how to turn it off.
And I do want to introduce our Fastenal representatives. Jenny Cox will be here working full-time for us. She has got tremendous experience running an on-site store down at a pharmacy company down in the valley. So we're really excited to get her in here. It was described like she's like LeBron James joining our team, right? So she's the person that we want to go to make this happen. They're very excited, obviously, to bring their first city in the state of California. Alex is also here. He can answer questions. They've been incremental in really conveying that this is a partnership. This is a public-private partnership that we're bringing to the City of Lancaster to really allow us to focus on what we do best, and that's serve our citizens, and allow them to do what was best, which was demonstrated in the video, to allow them to manage our warehouse and inventory.
Once we lock in with them, right? I mean, what guarantees do we have that the pricing is competitive?
The contract has already been competitively bid throughout the country. So we're working on a cooperative agreement, which means there was a lead agency that went out, they did the bidding, and they went to Grainger, I can't remember all the other companies, but there were about 5 or 6 different national companies that put together a basket of thousands of items that were purchased. They did the whole RFP process, and Fastenal was the one that came back with the best pricing and the best solution, and we're utilizing both their on-site solution and their vending machine solution to reduce that total cost of ownership. So we've got great unit pricing locked in a national contract, and we've got the benefit of their staff coming in to do the work for us.
Can you give us an example of you showed WD-40 up there. What is the unit cost at Home Depot? What is the unit cost to us? Same for a hammer.
I do not have that opportunity or that information in the presentation, but we can get that to you.
Do you have it? Come on up. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Wait a minute. I don't want anybody to sit down. Come back. Okay. If I go to Costco, right, I know I'm not going to pay more than 15% over wholesale, over what they paid, right?
Yep.
I mean, do we have something like that in place here?
Yes. The way the contract is structured, it has been competitively bid through UCOP, So that's UC, Office of the President. So what happened is they took a snapshot of the most commonly used parts in what's called MRO, Maintenance, Repair, and Operations. And in taking a snapshot of what was commonly used, that's where the market baskets that Christine was mentioning were taken. So they looked at hammers, tape measures, ladders, all sorts of things that are commonly used, and put together a competitive basket for that. In addition to that, each category or concept, so a concept, it could be fasteners, could be electrical, could be plumbing, whatever the case may be, has a percentage discount off of the wholesale price. So there's always, how should I phrase this? There's always a stopgap that shows that you're never going to exceed a certain price. Is it possible to find a lower price somewhere else? Of course. But the big thing about this is we're looking at the total cost of ownership. So it's not just price, it's also cost. So what are the costs, as we had mentioned before, of procuring the item, of sourcing the item, of picking up the item, the risk involved with going to get the item. All those things are mitigated by having Fastenal on site to be able to support the city. Did that answer the question?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
I can add to that. I've done this now for 3 years. Love it. Passionate about it. On a branch level, there's the contracts that are set up across the country, but on a branch level, and that's me, I'm the manager of the branch, I can look at pricing too. So I'm going to work with whomever comes in or sends me an email or whatever the case is. If you see something that is huge price difference, we're going to work together on that. We're going to put those pricing in place so that, if you've gone to Costco in the future and you've gotten it for a lot less, we're going to work together on that. So we're here for you. You guys are my customer, and you're my only customer. So ultimately, if you're happy, I'm happy. So that's how we work that.
Can you give me an example as far as with WD-40, what it costs at a Home Depot, what it costs with you?
Yeah, off the top of my head, I've been working with Christine on some of the P-card transactions. And I'm just going to say roughly, I know in my current branch, just your average can of WD-40, and my current branch has very good discount structure. I believe we're $3.98 for that can, and I know that on one of the Lowe's transactions, I saw it for $5.98. So, that's just $2.
How in the world do you know that off the top of your head?
I just did it today. The WD-40 is funny because I was just in the system doing something with WD-40 today. So, yeah.
That's impressive.
Well, thank you. Wow. But that's the kind of thing we work on. And that's, again, we work with our customers to make sure, that at the end of the day, you guys are happy with not only our service but pricing.
Where's it warehoused? How does the distribution work?
My Fastenal warehouse, we have them all over the country. What is there, 10 distribution centers all over the country, but they're not only our source. We get product direct from vendors. So, thank goodness we're in LA. I've lived in other places where we don't have the, quick access to vendors. We can get stuff next day. So it's awesome living here and having that. So not only do we have our distribution centers that get product in from vendors, we can also go to the vendors and get product here on our own, however that might be. So it's all over the country. It's anywhere you want to look, we can get product from.
So what does the city actually do with it other than be the consumer?
Well, the strategy would be phase two. The strategy is, as a consumer, we save money, time, and energy, as was mentioned. But phase two, from a standpoint of if our facility is being used for this inventorying and this delivery service, we can lease out space for other users, potentially, whether it be AVTA or other vendors, and scale it up, basically, right? If there's going to be one of us doing Lancaster and it takes two of them, well, to add AVTA, it may still take two of them, and we scale it that way as an opportunity. Now, that's not contemplated in this contract. I think we want to make sure it works first, right, and make sure we have success. But if it's successful, then start sharing that with other entities to say, if you want to benefit from our success, there's an opportunity here. And that's either joining our site or they have, branch two, if that's what is beneficial for the other agency working for it. So there is an opportunity here for us, but there's also an opportunity for everybody.
Is there a reason we couldn't make it available to private industry?
You guys have other stores in relationship with private industry,
Oh,
I'm sure.
yeah. I work for currently,
Coming up to the
September
mic.
1st, sorry. As of September 1st, I was with a private industry. I was with a vitamin manufacturing company. So it's everywhere. Like, there's so many customers that currently have this model, this on-site, and are loving it. I mean, we're even in with aerospace. I mean, you name it, we're in the mix. So
what the city would be providing is the warehouse space, right?
Correct. Well, and through their partnership, correct. I mean, there's a couple strategies. There's a couple strategies in making money, I guess is what you're saying. One is leveraging the space, right?
And then the system.
And the system, and this partnership is how you would leverage it somehow. Now, have we explored that completely? No, but it's contemplated.
All right. Be interesting to see what projections you come up with if we scaled it up. I guess you would be doing that, wouldn't you?
So question. I mean, obviously, we've got a history of several years in the past. I'm sure you can do some kind of a query. And then after we operate with Fastenal for a year, we're going to be able to get some kind of comparative analysis to determine, because I'm assuming, the mayor here made a comment, well, Costco, because everybody understands pretty much their model, but they then again don't necessarily carry everything that we're going to necessarily use, and then having somebody here run out to Costco to get one thing, obviously that begins to negate the efficiency level of cost savings. So I can see how that works. So I noticed that we've got, 3 years? Is it not quite 3 years commitment? Is that what, to run this? Is that what I'm understanding here tonight before us?
The contract right now is through 3 years, so we are asking that we can continue to extend the contract until the Omnia cooperative contract expires. The extensions are through 2025. We do have the option to cancel the contract at any time with 30 days written notice if we choose to do so.
So the only thing we're committing to is buying the product from them, right?
Correct, and we're not actually buying the product until we have it in our hand, and that's the benefit of this, is we get the benefit of the bulk purchasing that's nationwide. We get the benefit of not sending our staff throughout the city and purchasing and paying retail or 5% under retail, or maybe 15% if we go to Costco. We have the benefit of paying well below wholesale price, and we have the benefit of I completely lost my train of thought, but we have the benefit, I got a little nervous there. We do have the benefit of just having the items on stock here and not paying for them until we utilize them, until we're going to take them off the shelf, versus having to have staff on site, purchasing items, sitting on the shelf, and managing that, where you have theft, loss, waste, all those different things that can occur. So
if the employees steal it now, they got to take the loss, right?
Yeah, and so they're going to secure it very well with the vending machines and the cage that they have and everything like that. So yes,
and Marvin has a place to get his WD-40.
There you go. Yeah.
At $3.95.
At $3.95. All right.
So we're looking, when we were first approached with this, we were like, okay, so what's the catch here? Because it sounds a little, too good to be true. But it truly is, and what we've seen over the last couple of months as we've explored this, it truly is a public-private partnership. They truly have invested in our success, our community, and wanting to see us grow. And I think it's just a great opportunity to be one of the first cities to say, hey, we want to turn our resources back to the citizens. We want to spend the time, we look at 168 man hours a month, talking about filling in potholes, getting rid of that graffiti, cleaning up the parks a little bit better, standardizing the items that we purchase so that we can do better for our citizens.
I'm in. Got a motion?
I'll move that we approve NB1, A, B, and C.
I'll second that.
Let's vote. Well, wait a minute. Before we actually vote, could you throw in a can of WD-40?
Have it on your desk tomorrow.
Thank you. It passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
NB2, any speaker cards?
No speaker cards.
So, Shannon, do you have a burning desire to tell us anyway?
Say no.
No? Then we'll waive the staff report.
Motion to approve NB2.
Second it. Let's vote. Passes unanimously. NB3. Jeff, got a card. You're up. I enjoyed that meeting yesterday.
Good.
It was yesterday, right?
Yes. Hopefully the vice mayor also enjoyed the meeting.
Not so much.
Well, no, but I thought you were incredibly well prepared. I thought your staff did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get that done for you, too.
I mean, it could have been a much more, pleasant meeting, but it wasn't. So.
That's my job.
Keep us accountable. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. So this is one of our favorite topics always, money. And our city engineer has been talking to you a lot about the color of money. And more or less, this item is a request for us to change the color of money. We're working with MTA to basically take restricted funds and convert it into unrestricted funds that we can use longer and on different items. Right now, it's a federal funded kind of type of color. And so this will take that off and give Marisa Diaz and our engineering department the ability to put it into different projects. And identified on this staff report is putting money towards Medical Main Street, a pedestrian gap closure, which is a bunch of different gap closures within the city for pedestrian sidewalks. One of them just recently, we did a temp sidewalk on Sierra Highway for Mr. Willie Green, if you remember. So that will be a permanent sidewalk in the next couple of years with that project. And also 10th Street West Road Diet and Bikeway improvements that I believe go from Lancaster up to H. So with that, we request that you approve this exchange of money.
Any questions? Any questions?
No.
Good. Fran?
Good evening, Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Chris, council members, hi, staff, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fran Sarasaris, and I just want a clarification. Okay, I can't understand the two above, but Medical Main Street, what does that entail? What are you going to do with this money for Medical Main Street?
We're going to build some roads.
Where?
It's J2 and 17th.
Yeah, it's within the hospital area.
Yeah.
So there's some road segments that we're looking at with grant funding that would, one road would go between.
Wait a minute. Should I be here?
Yeah, I'm going to question that too. If part of this is going to be allocated to Medical Main Street.
No, you should not.
I'm recusing myself. We own some of that.
You do realize too that will take me out of the picture.
Which means we lose quorum.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
So stay.
So you can stay, Mr. Mayor, because we're going to have to continue this to another meeting because we're going to lose quorum.
Okay.
Good catch, Mayor.
Fran, we're going to continue this to the next meeting.
Wait a minute. Can we eliminate the Medical Main Street portion of this and improve the other portion?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I was at the meeting at the AV Hospital. What they're going to be rebuilding the new hospital.
Fran, I can't talk about Medical Main Street.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't want that to happen again.
Understood.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Is there a motion to approve it?
I'll move that we approve NB3 A and B, but just the 10th Street and the pedestrian gap closure.
I second that.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Okay, thank you. Council reports.
AVTA, we're starting to get our commuter buses in. We're doing the testing on our commuter buses. I think we're just 14 buses short of being all electric. The cost projections are holding true. We're in good shape. Everything looks good. So somewhere around December to February, we should be 100%. We are the only transportation agency with this many buses running, and we are currently running more electric miles than we're putting on diesels. So, and we have the largest fleet in North America right now. So everything is running good at.
That was electrifying.
Yes.
Electrifying.
Thank you.
That's a first for you to do.
Yes.
That kind of a presentation.
Speaking of electrifying, Marvin, our vice mayor, has truly worked something with staff and with the ABTA and, with those invisible people out there. And the announcement came, I think, was in the email from Lancaster City today, wasn't it? It was about the electric vehicles and the rebates. I would suggest anybody listening to this pay very close attention to that. You can get a car with a very, very little net cost. I mean, I'm talking like $30, $40 a month for a car, right? Total cost. If you meet certain...
Yeah, there's certain criteria, certain lease programs, but with all the lease back and the rebates that we're giving, but we're taking any money that we have earned through the LCE and putting it towards our car dealers.
They don't know what the LCE is.
Lancaster Choice Energy.
Okay.
So we're putting it towards Lancaster Choice Energy is matching the grants that AVA QMD is giving, plus there's state grants, federal grants, and all that, and we're giving it to our car dealers in order for the general public to purchase electric vehicles at a cheaper rate. So if you look at that and go through it, it's amazing what you can purchase. So go look at the electric vehicles. There's a lot of rebates out there for them, both federal, state, local, and through Lancaster Choice Energy.
The thing I'm concerned about is when I first looked at it, it was confusing. And, if it's too confusing, I just don't read it. Unless I have to, for my job or for being mayor. But this was not one of those things. But then when Marvin explained it to me, it's like everybody that works for me, if they wanted to get a new car, could get one. Everyone here, if you have a job, you can pretty much get a new car and not pay over $40 a month for it. That's pretty fabulous. Marvin's the only guy I know who can do it. He can pull money from so many sources and put it together, and next thing you know, you got this package. This is a fabulous package. If you live in Lancaster and if you have a job, you should really pay attention to this. And in fact, what we might want to do is have somebody in the city available to explain it and then move people over to the dealership.
Yeah, we will be launching the program October 14th.
Okay.
We're going to have a complete drive and sign and a marketing effort and everything else talking about the program itself in conjunction with the AVA QMD. So we're excited about that, October 14th.
And all you have to do is vote for me and Kent. No, I'm kidding.
So somebody might sit here, so you're listening to the mayor, somebody might sit here, what makes Lancaster unique? And you've got a partnership between the AQMD board, Lancaster Choice Energy, sitting on top of the state rebates and the federal rebates. So if you were outside of Lancaster, you would only get that state and that federal rebate.
Okay.
But within here...
Wait a minute. I don't want to confuse this.
Right.
This is real simple. You live in Lancaster, you got a job, you want a new car, we can pretty much get it to you for very, very little money. Right? Is that fair?
The rebates compared with the Fed, state, and local as AVA QMD is a substantial rebate.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It is.
I mean, one of those models is, it's a net savings, right?
It's a net positive. On some vehicles, it's a net positive. And for those people that are concerned about the charging, I talked with Macy at ABTA today. I talked with Brett at the AVA QMD. We're putting together a system throughout the valley, which we will do at all the major locations such as Costco, the mall, the different transportation places, and start putting in either phase 3, phase 2 chargers. So there'll be a Phase 3 charger will be located in Lancaster, so we'll have a lot of different charging stations for those vehicles. So don't be apprehensive that we're putting the charging stations in more than we have before, but there's a lot that are out there now. So we have them at the college, we have them at the fairgrounds, we have them at the mall, we have them here, we have them at a ton of locations, but we're going to start putting them at different private locations. So if you were interested in buying an electric vehicle and you use your car primarily locally, it's a perfect opportunity for you to save money. And if your kids, the comment was made today that it was bad for the bus companies because we're actually moving some of the kids that can't afford, they would have to ride the bus. We're moving them into vehicles. So it's a good opportunity for everyone that lives in the valley.
I mean, it's not just Lancaster? What's the matter with you?
They can be purchased in Lancaster.
Oh, good. You know, most of my lawyers have electric vehicles, and most of them live in the valley and drive up. I mean, it's a lot easier than people think. It's not very. I haven't seen any inconvenience to it, for what it's worth. Okay, thank you. Good job, Mark. No action on the housing authority. Did you have anything? Okay. Do you have anything? Good. You good? Good. No action required on the Housing Authority, Financing Authority, Power Authority, Successor Agency, City Manager. Do you have any announcements?
Yeah, real quick, I'll have one, and then, excuse me, I have one, and then Rhonda will take the next one. We have Streets of Lancaster this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on the Boulevard. Of course, this is our 10th annual.
I know where you're going to have lunch. No, never mind.
It is an exciting time for everybody. We also have what's really cool this year. We're stepping it up with Everclear is going to be playing on Saturday night. So it's going to be a fun time for all the families and everybody. So come on out and enjoy Streets of Lancaster and some good music. With that, I'll turn over to Rhonda to talk about the back.
Mayor, at the last meeting, you requested staff to look into creating a viable solution for children, to ensure children are not going hungry on the weekends. So we have actually engaged the impact teams that we had before you 2 meetings ago to come up with solutions. We had our first meeting this week, and they really, really want to own this program. So they're very excited. We gave them 30 days, and we are sort of shepherding them through that process to ensure that it's a program that lasts. And we are including community stakeholders, the reading program that Underwood Jacob suggested, and moving forward there.
You are my hero. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Rhonda, can we talk
really
about,
wonderful.
Can we talk about some of the programs that are being implemented, feeding the homeless, and the trash that's being left over?
Sure.
See,
so
you don't want to really go to the negative that quick. Couldn't we have kind of a little? I mean, the most positive thing I've heard in 6 months. I mean, it's truly wonderful. I don't want to hear about. We can do that after the.
Atta girl, Rhonda.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm sorry, folks. He's learning. He hasn't been here long. Okay. City Clerk.
This is the time to address the City Council Agency Authority on non-agendized matters. Speaker cards can be found on the back table of the council chambers. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each unless a different time limit is announced. State law prohibits the City Council from taking action on items not on the agenda, and your matter may be referred to the City Manager. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I do the speaker cards, it's come to my attention that there are an interesting group of people videoing patients going in and out of AV Hospital. Captain, never again. That is a crime. It's a violation of people's privacy rights. It's a violation of HIPAA. I don't care what resources we have to use. I do not want that emergency room being harassed, nor do I want patients being illegally filmed as they go in and out of the emergency room. I would appreciate it if you would look into this and put whatever resources are necessary to take care of that situation. Thank you. And that should make it pretty clear to everybody what the city's position is on that, I hope. Thank you. David Paul.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, good evening. It was a great day. I heard a lot of good things here tonight, and I really appreciate that. And I don't have anything else other than to wish Ken Mann a happy 70th birthday. Thank you, sir. You're looking very good.
We're so proud of you.
70.
I look so young for 70, don't I?
You do. You do. Hey, what's the name of that company we're buying our stuff from? What is it? Fastenal. Do they have Depends?
You guys are brutal tonight. And I believe I'm younger than the two of you.
Actually.
Separately.
Actually, you're not.
Yes, I am. You know that.
Aaron Condell?
I apologize. I don't know how to formally address everyone. I just had I had no idea these were that much fun with all these debates. I just had a question in regards to the electric vehicle rebate. Since we don't have a Tesla dealership, does the car have to be purchased in the city of Lancaster, or do you just need to be a resident in the city?
For the full amount, you have to purchase it in, and it's reduced by 50% if you buy it outside. So if you bought a Tesla, you would get the state and the federal rebates, but you would only get 50% of the local rebates.
Okay, but some does still apply, just 50% rather than. Okay,
yes.
Got you. That was it for me.
Okay.
Thank you. Viana Friss.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Viana Friss, and I wanted to talk about the hospital, too. Last Friday, I went there, and I had 5 tests done, and it took 7 hours. And I spent all the time in the emergency room. It was loaded for Friday night, of course. And I realized there was no soap in the toilet in the restroom. Is this the new America? Must be a concentration hospital. There was no soap. You don't need soap in America, I guess, to keep health. I wondered why they can't keep soap in the hospital. This hospital is rated F anyway. I've known that for 5 years. So I wondered what we could do about it.
So do we.
Thank you. Yes. But when I wanted to remind you to keep this wonderful crosswalk painted. All the new pavement is down there, and we need the paint put back on the crosswalk. I like that crosswalk.
Good.
I walk up here from the senior center.
Good.
So I'm inviting people from the senior center to come to the council meeting.
I'd like to see more of those crosswalks done.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's quite an undertaking, but I just love them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, good. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, I like this city, so you really listen to us.
Thank you.
I feel right at home here in the council meetings.
And we are working on the hospital, and we're working with them. They have a lot of challenges, but I'm starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I love hospitals.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
George Betty.
Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Chris, council members, ladies and gentlemen. On these vacant lots, I give you credit if you're behind the cleanup that I'm seeing so far.
Have you seen the blisters on these hands?
I tell you.
And not from cleaning up.
Just to highlight on it, I've noticed several vacant fields that have large shrubs seems to attract the homeless. And then I've noticed some lots that these larger shrubs have been eliminated, so there's no homeless in there. Are we going to plan on continuing getting rid of the large shrubs and possibly talking to the owners of these private-owned lots to put up some kind of fencing so nobody can go by 2 o'clock in the morning with a pickup truck and dump? I'm at 21st Street East, and I'm cleaning it up right now with my own trash cans.
I'm not aware of any shrub cleanup to effectuate moving the homeless. To my knowledge, that's not.
No. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're there at that large shrub. I'm just saying move the shrub before they do get there.
No, we're not. That really is not happening. The concern with keeping the lots clean, especially in regards to the homeless, is there's significant health issues.
Yeah.
Because, let's just face it, there's not any toilets out there, and people have to go to the bathroom, and next thing you know, people are getting all kinds of diseases. And within the cities and within city leadership across the state, we're becoming progressively concerned. We now have antibiotic-resistant leprosy in some populations. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And it's just going to be a matter of time before everybody's view of this problem is going to be radically different, because we will literally have people dying from diseases we can't cure with antibiotics.
My daughter-in-law's a RN down at Good Samaritan Hospital, and she's in charge of ICU. And she says every time she gets off the freeway, everybody's doing their dumping right there in the streets. And they've got diseases coming into the hospitals that they haven't seen in over 100 years.
It is a problem that people just have not fully come to grips with. And that's one of the reasons we are so aggressive in cleaning these situations as they develop up. I don't want us to be the first city that has something catastrophic happen in this regard.
Yeah.
All right.
Can a private citizen go out and take care of that one large shrub?
No, you can't. Thank you. I'll see you, George. Thanks.
Okay.
Now would be a good time, Marvin, if you want to deal with that.
What?
With how we're dealing with feeding the...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Dementia is a horrible thing to observe.
Yeah, I understand it really affects the oldest ones. That's unfortunate.
It's affecting the two to my left and to my right.
Okay, Marvin doesn't want to talk about. We are having a problem with people just arbitrarily picking a spot to feed homeless. It's admirable. We all understand it. We all want to do it. And then 2 hours later, there's this huge amount of garbage that is left behind. If people are going to insist on or if people want to do this, if they want to feed the homeless, they have to clean up after them. Otherwise, we're going to just not allow it. I don't know what else to do. Perhaps the people doing it can come up with a solution. But, you just can't leave it at feeding them. You have to make sure the area is clean when they leave. And yes, all of those who want to vilify me on Facebook, start typing. And Evelyn will read it, and she'll tell me how many there were, and that's about the extent of it. It's very easy to complain about us not doing enough for people who are in this unfortunate situation. But make no mistake, our primary obligation is to protect the hardworking families in this community, and that includes protecting them from potential diseases. And that's what law enforcement is telling me is happening. Am I right?
We are seeing.
Thank you. Okay, Fran. Now that I brought everybody down, you understand why they call me Debbie Downer.
Again, good evening. Thank you for listening to me again. First of all, Ken, happy birthday. Wish you the best and God bless you.
Much appreciated coming from you.
Thank you.
I don't have to listen to the
I was going to say something funny.
Are you going to share those cupcakes?
Yeah, Marvin was to disperse those. Go ahead, Fran.
Okay, first, I was going to thank you for the trash pickup where we feed the homeless at the park. And I was very appalled too when I started to help them out on Sundays. I even told the person that's in charge, I says, don't you have brooms so we can clean up this place after we leave? Because we try to pick up the big trash, but we can't sweep. We don't have brooms. I said, well, if you want, I'll bring my own broom, and I'll sweep whatever I can. I mentioned it to Jeff, and Vice Mayor Chris was showing me the pictures that you did pick up a lot of trash. A lot of that trash is not, well, I do have something to offer as far as picking. We need more trash cans there. We only have 2 trash cans there at this point. And that when we're there on Sunday, they get filled up pretty quick. And then we have no place else to throw the trash. I do ask for more trash cans in that area because we feed from 60, 125 people on Sunday sometimes. And but I'm with you as far as the trash and the dirty that's left, and it needs to be washed down at least once a week or something because it gets pretty bad. And I appreciate all you do and the help that you give us. And thank you, Vice Mayor Chris. I was happy to see that picture you showed me this morning of the cleanup and all this, because it made me feel good because something is being done, and I appreciate that. And also the skateboard park seems to be coming along pretty good, so that's...
Where are we on that?
We are currently on schedule to have it done this November.
All right.
Wow, that's
Good.
like a month away, right?
Yeah, it's coming along really good, very nicely.
Good. So is the mayor of Palmdale going to have a skateboard competition with me? Has he
I
agreed?
can't in good conscience allow that.
No, but there again, I do not to be sounding off and saying the same thing over and over each time I visit with you folks here. I appreciate you all very much, and I thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Have a good night. Anything else? Anybody?
I do. I want to just say something in regards to what Fran said. It reminded me of what was said at the AVTA today. At our meeting today, we had speaker cards, and a speaker said the buses are running late. They're 10 minutes late. And then the next speaker card said the buses are running too early. They're 5 minutes early. So it's the whole picture is what we're trying to look at. That's the difficult part, not only for the buses, but cleaning up after the homeless is just not feeding the homeless. It's everything that they bring with them and the trash that they leave and the waste that they leave, let's put it that way. And so it's a bigger picture, but we are trying our best.
I see it, and I thank you.
So thank you.
Okay. Any comments before we close? The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, October 8, 2019 at 5 p.m. And Carol, I'm coming home.